What's going on, guys? I'm sitting here with Robbie Connors, and he's going to tell you what he did today.
We got 6th place at the Massachusetts Regional.
And funny story, I also got 6th place this weekend at a regional in Kentucky, so we are 6th place buddies, and I came home with a fresh new mat. Sadly, no deck box because we didn't get top 4, but you know how it is. So, do you want to get into the deck?
Absolutely. So we played Spright with hand traps, and I also played the Trick Star package, the 3 cards. So for the Spright package, it's just the basic Sprites. I actually opted not to play any of the other Spright monsters in the main deck. I feel like they weren't necessary for game 1. I feel like if I really needed them, I was probably going to lose anyways, 9 times out of 10. So I feel like playing just like all good cards and starters would be the best way to do this.
Did you miss Carrot at all?
In the main deck, honestly, no. I think I needed it once out of like all 20 games that I played, or 18 games. So
okay,
really wasn't that bad. And for the monsters that we are normal summoning, if we have to, and the cards we want to normal summon, I opted to play Diva instead of Beaver. I felt like it was just better to have the tuner, to have the option to add back your hand trap. I didn't use it often. I think it only came up once or twice, but I felt like it was still necessary just to have the better monster in your deck. And worst comes to worst, it worked the same way as Beaver. It just couldn't special summon from the graveyard. So it was like same idea, but with the tuner, it just adds extra. Hand traps. You got 3 Veiler, 3 DD Crow, 3 Ash, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm. Honestly, I wanted to draw these 9 all the time if I could. Like, that would just make every game dumb easy, but having these extra are just as good. This is good in almost every matchup, even against Mathmech and decks that you don't see too often. It's still usable. Very valuable hand trap. This one's probably the one I'd side out the most, if anything, but seeing Nib Imperm or Nib Ash usually meant you close the game out anyways. I only won 1 die roll out of the rounds.
Yeah, I lost like all my die rolls.
Yeah, I wrote it down. Yeah, I lost every single one but 1. And that one, it didn't even matter because I drew an unplayable hand. The Trick Star package, I felt like this was just necessary to have 1 extra like starter. This card's actually really good. When you can lock their back row that they're always adding in, any meta deck right now has some sort of back row that they can just add from their deck in their combo. So to like force them to use it, or to lock a Super Poly is really good. Locking Super Poly probably won me, I think, 4 or 5 games. I played against 4 2 element or 5 2 element. 3 starter, 1 smashers. I did play 2 smashers for a while. I was testing it like all week before the regional, but I felt like it was just good enough to play only 1. I didn't really see 2 too often when I was playing it, so that wasn't really an issue. I just felt like the Trick Star package needed to take an extra card out of the deck to keep it 40, so I just took out smashers. 3 pot and 1 called by. I mean, this card's a god card, and 3 pot's necessary. I took it out almost every game too, unless I was searching for my side deck cards when I was going first. 40 card main deck. Extra deck. Almirage. This card was relatively needed. I didn't need it too often, but if I only drew Swap Frog, this was the only way to get to your combo. The Water Charmer and the Dark Charmer. I felt like these were both really good. Actually, they didn't come up once the whole tournament.
I feel like I summoned Dark so many times.
Dude, it's like such a good card, but I honestly didn't even need it. Like every time I played against Tier Limit, I was like honestly just winning game 1 with hand traps because I didn't win any die rolls, and I just win game 2 with side deck cards. So I feel like this wasn't even that necessary. Hulk, we're playing Diva. You get the Searcher Tuner, and you can also, like, if you're locked into level 2s already, you can use your Divas to summon him, force out a hand trap possibly, and or summon just another Diva and just make it.
And just when you have a full combo heavy hand, like just adding a hand trap is also insane.
Exactly. And like I said, it only came up once the whole tournament because I was just scared.
Like where you summoned Ash.
Yeah, I was just scared of Nib, honestly. Like, because you can summon Veiler too if you have the Ash already. That's another reason why to play Veiler, but I don't know. It was mostly used just to summon Diva. 3 elf, we're playing pot, and this card is just good in the grind game. Against the mirror match, I need 3. I did get cherries twice, I think, and they took away elf, and they made it very hard to win the game, but we still won those.
Yeah, it seems like it. Take away 3 cards in your extra deck.
Yeah, literally, dude, that sucks. Especially when you take 3 or 6 out turn 1. It's just like you automatically lose 9 times out of 10. 2 gigantic. I mean, I felt like I didn't really need 3 ever. 1 Toad, never really needed 2. Self-explanatory. Taguso Phoenix, this card's broken. You play Pixies and Gamma Burst in the side deck with D-Shifter. And like if you're going second, you can almost always put in Pixies and Gamma Burst, and you can just OTK your opponent very easily. Hand traps, plus like a level 2 combo just to make this card's almost 8,000 damage. Obimaru, I said that wrong. The Soul Sweeper, I can never say his first name, is very good against, in game 1, I'll always need it. I feel like if I'm going second, because when you summon a nib on them, and they have a big token or it's a big monster that's targetable that you can't get rid of, like, this is the best out. Next to Smashers. And then the Zeus package, self-explanatory. Zeus came up like every match.
Yeah, I was gonna say Zeus is probably one of the most made extra cards.
Probably the best.
Aside from Elf.
Yeah, absolutely. And then side deck, 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. Going second, I would just take out the pots for these cards, like almost always. And it just felt way better than having pot going second. So this was just good. And plus this is another card you can just, like, if you draw it with Nib, Asher, Imperm, you're basically just winning 9 times out of 10. 3D Shifter and the Gamma Burst Pixies package.
It's had to be MVP right here.
Dude, for real though. Like, play against 4 tier limit, I think I D-shifted almost all of them game 2. But no, this card's obviously broken. And this package with it, you can, like, this card and this card, you can OTK your opponent. Like, if you hard draw this or one of the spell cards. And then the other MVP of the side deck. These cards are just broken.
Is there...
Like, you have pot in your deck. Like, there's no reason not to be able to play your combo. Search for this card or this card and win. I did draw this a lot.
Yeah, that's the only thing about, like, not playing a way to pop it.
Exactly. Like, I literally had no way to destroy the card. So I was just like, if I drew it, I would just set it, like, by itself and hope that they would try